Hello?
We're back. All right. Okay, so I see 3 of our members on.
Armand is texting that he's struggling to get back on.
So is Chris, yep. I think I think, Bill, did you take over the meeting for a second?
I did. I just had to put the planning board on hold for 15.
So I think when you took over, I think it bounced everybody else out.
Yeah, that's what happened we kept getting bounced out when you guys were logging in, but apologies. Anyway, I
No,
told
no worries
them,
at all.
I
We'll
told them
we'll
we're
get through
okay.
it. No problem. All right.
Sorry, guys.
No problem. I know Armand was trying to get back on, so he should be on shortly.
Yeah, I think he's still trying.
Okay, so there's 4 of us on right now, so I'm just going to start with the remote access information, and we'll wait until he gets on before we actually discuss the information. So, staff, when I call your name, please respond. So we know right now that Armand is not here, even though he was here for the last one. But staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Greg Johnson.
Affirmative.
Becky Mosca.
Here.
Okay, excellent. And I see Chief Noble and Joanna Bellata, Bill Nemser. Okay. Good evening. This open meeting of the Board of Selectmen is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12th, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID-19 virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all bodies in a publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. This order allows public bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so the public can follow along with deliberations of the meeting. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. That's what I will go with. Actually, we'll feature public comment. I think it was on the agenda. For this meeting, the Board of Selectmen is convening by video conference via Zoom, as posted on the town website, identifying how the public may join. For Zoom meetings, note that this meeting is being recorded and some attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and to take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. For board docs supported meetings, all the materials for this meeting, except any executive session materials, are available on board docs, and we recommend that the members and the public follow along the agenda as posted on board docs unless I note otherwise. We're now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules for clear and effective conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. I will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your computer or phone when you are not speaking. Remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate meeting minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in colloquy with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. For items with public comment, after members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment as follows. The chair will first ask members of the public who wish to speak to identify their names and addresses only. Once the chair has a list of all public commentators, we'll call on each by name and afford 3 minutes for any comments. And finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by a roll call vote. So that being said, turning to the first item on the agenda, my apologies, so actually the agenda I just lost the agenda for mine, but I'm assuming public comment is first.
Yes. Yes.
Do we have any public comments tonight? Okay. Hearing none. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, and I will entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve the retail alcoholic beverage license, the common victular and entertainment licenses to reflect the change in location of Art Specialties LLC from 43 Nason Street to 25 Nason Street, pending all inspections and outstanding work is complete. And I will authorize the use of digital signatures if approved.
Second.
Thank you, Armin and Chris. All right, Greg?
So as was already alluded to, Arthur has been working with the town for weeks now in his transition from one end of the street to the other end of the street into the new to him building, all the renovations that he's been doing. He's been working with his town staff. It was a bit of a bumpy start. I think there was a misunderstanding between town staff and Arthur about what sort of work would need to be required and the sort of like satisfactory reporting that would have to be had in order to recommend this license transfer. And I fully believe that, because I understand Mr. I'm going to say your name wrong, Arthur. I think I said
okay. No worries, Greg.
Okay, so Arthur, but I fully believe that the town staff is not treating Arthur in any different fashion than we would for any other establishment that's trying to do this. And I don't disagree that this is a frustrating process, that is lengthy and it's complicated. We don't mean it to be. The town staff is only trying to be thorough, just as they would for any other business or any other establishment that's trying to do this is a significant change to go from one store front to another storefront, and it's a change of use into that new building, and it's a full building. So I want to point that out, that I don't believe that we are doing anything outside of the due process that would provide and the diligence that would be afforded to any other establishment. But I can see how you would be frustrated by that. And I also want to point out that we have been trying to have this approved by the selectmen for a number of meetings now, as a sign of good faith that we have been putting this on to these subsequent meetings now. Whereas, and frankly, I think I do have, if I have at least 2 department heads that have not yet, signed off, so to speak, on your inspections. So I could even recommend that the board not approve it. I'm not doing that, but I do think the board, if they're going to approve it, that they do it as the motion says, pending the, contingent upon the completion of the inspections and complete work. So I just want to point that out, that I would do that for any other business as well. So, so that being said, so I hear you what you're saying, Arthur, but we are doing what I believe is in a professional manner. I'm sorry, that was a lot. So for the public who doesn't know, he's been through a lot. He's trying to get this work done. And we're close to the finish line, Arthur. We're close.
Exactly.
We are.
So the question I have is, so we have been through this. We've had the public hearing. We've discussed a lot of it. Does anyone have any questions for either Art or Greg, or even we have Kate here? She just popped right back on again. So worst case, if we need Kate for it, anyone have any questions?
I don't have a question, Justine, more so just a comment that, I am a bit, as Greg alluded to, I'm a little frustrated over the fact that, when you look at the list of things that we need to have approved, I think the only one that says that he's definitely done is the police chief. I think, although DPW too. So 2 out of 5 or 6, yet we're ready to approve it and move forward. I would prefer, I don't want to hold things up. So if the board's not going to go this way, that's fine. But I just think when we think through precedent and what happens in the future, we've got a situation here where we have 3 of our 5 inspections that are not yet fully completed, and we're giving it the go-ahead. And I don't know if that's a wise thing to do. But again, I'm going to go with the direction that the board goes in, but I wanted to make that statement because I think from the public's perspective, they expect that we have completed our due diligence and that we're satisfied that everything is good to go. And we are the voice of the public. And I don't know if all of our department heads have given us the okay that we're good to go.
Can I ask a question? Why is it that we're at this situation when it shouldn't have been completed by now? What's holding it up? I don't understand.
There's a number of factors. So it's not an insignificant move to go from one end of the street to the other end of the street, because it's a change of use. So that is that's significant to go like it's a different building, and that building used to be a bank, I believe, and now it's meant to be used as a grocery store, and that not only a grocery store, but it's going to have refrigeration and whatnot. So it's not just apples to apples. It
He
is.
has refrigeration in the other building.
But there was a
That's right.
There
refrigeration.
wasn't refrigeration in the bank.
in the bank.
Oh, I see.
So to make, I'm making a long story short, that it's not straightforward. Like it does require more hurdles to jump to be able to make it into the establishment
Yeah,
that
but
you
it's
want.
been a long process. Why is it that the hurdles haven't been accomplished yet?
And I,
Is it
So-
we're that busy in town that we can't get this thing done?
to a degree, yes. I mean, like they
Okay.
set the schedule according to the inspectors, right? So the chief goes out there one day and maybe
Okay.
something's missing. So then he has to reschedule another day. But same with the other police chief and the building commissioner who's doing many
Yeah.
inspections.
Just
Health-
keep in mind, we're trying to get business in town. Let's not become.
Well, Armand, if your complaint
Well-
is with the process, we change the process.
Okay,
But if
never
the
mind.
process is the
You know what?
process.
Just
so
go
we-
on. Please go on. Please go on.
I
I
think
don't
what
think-
is important to remember is, yes, we
This is
are.
frustrating. This is frustrating from a standpoint of an economic development person that's trying to get business going into towns, into our town, and we're trying to put obstacles in front of people trying to
It's no
develop anything in our
obstacles.
town.
Please don't
Yes,
say that,
you do.
Armand.
Yes,
It's
you
not
do.
an
Armand,
obstacle.
we want our residents.
Let's get
Armin.
streamlined. Okay, let's get a streamlined process and get this thing going, not just for this gentleman, but everything else we're doing in town.
Armand, we want this business and every other business that comes into our town to be safe for residents
Of
and
course, I understand.
anyone else who comes to this town.
I understand.
That is why we have these processes in place.
I understand that. I understand we have these processes, but
Yes,
there's no
so that
reason
is
why
what he's
it's
trying to
taking so
do.
long.
It's the only issue that I have with the argument right now is everything that we're talking about is in writing. The entire process is in writing. Everything that Art needs to complete is in writing. There's no surprises. There might be a surprise if something doesn't pass an inspection, but we're not saying that. And it seems like, to David's point, there's 3 or 4 things that haven't been done, but is it wrong to suggest that the zoning and the other things are in writing?
Yes.
Bill, can I ask Bill that question? Because he probably has the most experience with it. Is our process in writing, Bill?
For the building department, I honestly am not sure of their entire process. All
Well,
the planning and zoning is.
Well, it's code. The things
Yes.
have to be done to code. If there's an inspection, the inspection has to follow a code. So there's no surprises in code and zoning regulations. I mean, those things are, they're in writing.
Yes.
Right.
we've
The
designed
town
a
has
process.
met with Arter weeks ago to go over what the process is going to be. So and
And the
that is,
list, Greg, I'm so sorry, but list is not up to date. List is completed a lot. So list is completed. I met with Rick. I gave Rick whatever he needs. I met with the fire department chief, Anthony. I gave him a lot that he needs it. So list, David, you can talk to the guys and find out that list is completed. If you need to know, yes, list is almost completed.
No, I can appreciate that, but I'm here as a member of an elected board that is and the intent is for us to assure, as Justine commented on, that we are making sure for the public that everything is ready to go and that we're saying okay to something that's been checked off, not to something that will be checked off. And it's basically us to say, okay, thank you, chief. Thank you, chief. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, DPW. We're good to go. And so far, I don't think we're at that point. But again, I'm not here to block anything. I'm here I'm made my point because I'm concerned about the future, not necessarily about this
So I'll
particular.
do one more comment. I'm sorry, David. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna just move in when you guys approved it. I'm going to move in only when all the inspection are passed. So it doesn't matter if you just approve my license right now. I'm not just gonna go move in tomorrow.
So
It's
why
still-
shouldn't we, to use that argument though, and with, I'm not arguing, I'm just making my point. We could have then said 6 months ago, okay, whenever everything's ready to go right ahead. Then what's the use of having a process anyway?
So I'll tell you why. So if I get approved, if I get all my license done by this Thursday, now I have to sit and wait until 26 for the next meeting to say, yes, go open the store. So you guys.
Can
make
I
it
can I
easy for
introduce
me.
myself? Art, can I introduce myself
Yes.
in support of you?
Wait,
My name is,
No, ma'am,
No, I can't.
well, the meeting is run by the Board of Selectmen, so you have to
Oh, I'm
defer
sorry.
to the chairwoman.
that's okay. I guess if it's quick, we're trying to actually, this was supposed to be a quick part.
That's fine. Well, I don't mean to, I am the person who's taking over 43 Nason Street. It's my business, my husband and my business. And we were supposed to move in October.
You do have to
So
introduce.
we have been,
You do have.
my
I'm
name is
sorry.
Aimee. My name is Aimee Abany. I live in Marlborough. I grew up in Stowe and I lived in Maynard for 7 years. My husband and I are bringing Maynard Nutrition to 43 Nason Street. And we have been working with Art since, I want to say, August or September about moving into that space.
Mhm.
So we are very concerned and have been emailing on a daily basis with Art regarding getting this list and stuff done. So it's also upsetting to us as well, who is waiting to move into that spot when Art has told us he has everything completed.
Right, but ma'am, the board and nor town staff can speak for what reports Arter has given you. But I have provided the board all the recent reports up to Friday when this meeting was posted publicly. And to Arter's point, which Becky pointed out, there are more completion done as of this week, but not all the completion. And I agree with Selectman Gavin, who is, I think, reluctant to start a precedent of approving policies, and this is a policy, you're approving a license change before we have completed all our due diligence. And if the argument is that the due diligence was done lacking, or if it was done not wholeheartedly, or if it not in the proper amount of time or due process that would be afforded to it, I disagree. And I would ask for evidence to show that. But short of that evidence, I think, and I have full confidence that the town staff worked quickly as they would in any other procedure. And if as a second argument, if there is a procedure that needs to change, we can look into that. But it is not an easy change to sort of centralize the permitting process. That would require the police chief do the work of the fire chief to do the work of the building inspector. That is a bridge probably too far for a small town as ours. And we work as quickly as we can with the limited resources we have. So you may not agree to my perspective, but I am only going based off of the reports that I've been given.
The other
Madam
thing
Chairman,
about, can I just ask a question of the chair, Madam Chair?
Yes, sir.
Are we here this evening because at our last meeting, the applicant wasn't ready for this discussion?
The ABCC had not returned his information, correct?
Right. So to have somebody come in and suggest that we're holding this up and her and her husband are being delayed because of something that the town has done is disingenuous at best.
That's not what I was trying to say.
You were saying that you started this process long ago. That's long before we got involved as a board. So that's between you and Art. So don't involve us in that discussion.
So let's bring it back to the conversation that is at hand as far as and obviously we can tell that there is definitely a lot of opinions going around about the process, about everything in general. So I guess the question I have, I understand David's point. I would say that at this point, I do personally feel comfortable moving forward because I trust that our town staff will not allow will not allow the certificate of occupancy if it is not, if the inspections aren't done. They will not allow the license to be given if the inspections aren't done. And I trust our town staff to do the inspections accordingly. So when we're to this point where this is close, I'm okay with it, but I respect the views of my other selectmen as well. So I guess that's where I'm at. Does anyone else have anything?
I agree with you. I agree with the concern that David poses, and maybe we should address that in another meeting and what the process should look like. But for this instance, I think David's concern is met by the faith that we put in the department heads who are doing the inspection in this case, which I do have.
I think in other instances, we've set the precedent that we're comfortable with our OMS office and Becky's office holding the permits and everything until all the inspections have been completed and all the boxes have been checked. So I agree that I'm comfortable with where we're at and moving forward.
Okay, all right. Does anyone else have anything else to add to this before we actually decide to try to go for a vote for it? All right, then let's move forward with a vote. All in favor? And again, it will be held at town office until all those inspections are done. Jeff,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Armand,
Yes.
and I am a yes. So that passes. Congratulations and good luck, Arthur.
Thank you. And I promise I will make sure everything is done. I promise you guys, everything will be done as soon as possible according to the code.
We know
I know
where to
that-
find you if it's not.
I know.
It's
That's-
a tough process. It's a tough process. I totally understand, and it can be frustrating. So,
I have a question if I
Thank you,
want. I'm not muted.
Becky?
The new people that are moving into 43, if they could contact me at any given time, I need to give them an application. We need to know if it's going to be food, entertainment, any of those things. I need to get an application to you, Amy, if you can contact me tomorrow.
Oh, I can. My husband told me that everything has been handled and taken care of with the town thus far until we move in. Is
Do you
that
have
not correct?
any food or TVs, radios, anything like that going on in there?
We have TVs that are just PowerPoints, no cable or anything.
We can have this
And it's-
conversation offline. This,
Yeah,
You need-
that's fine.
Please contact me.
good question, Becky.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Amy, so that's Becky Mosca. She is the selectman's secretary if you're trying to get in touch with the selectman's admin.
Okay, thank you.
No
Thank you.
problem. So because of the confusion of tonight, I don't know, I think everyone was probably here when it happened, but the meeting's been double booked. So what we are going to do is I'm going to entertain, do I need to entertain a motion for it or just table the rest of the meeting?
Table the rest of it because it wasn't a public hearing, so you don't have to
Okay, so we're going to table the rest of the meeting for tonight. Planning board is going to reconvene where we are now. And we will be in touch and advertise when we are going to meet again, whether it'll be next Tuesday or so. I will entertain a motion to close the meeting.
Madam Chair, do you want to
What was
acknowledge
that?
the frustration of
Oh,
the people
sure.
who did show up for the original topic, which I believe there are several?
They're closing it. They made a mistake.
Oh,
They double booked it.
Paula, you're not muted, just
Paula.
FYI. Paula, you're not muted. So I absolutely can acknowledge the frustration of everyone. This is obviously, 9 months into this and we're still learning new things on Zoom and sometimes these glitches happen. I absolutely apologize on behalf of the town and on behalf of our board for any inconvenience. This will be a conversation that we have. We do believe it's important to us to move forward. So again, we will advertise the meeting. In my head, I'm thinking it's next Tuesday night, but I don't know. We haven't talked to anybody and we want to make sure, obviously, there are no conflicts. So as soon as we know, we will definitely get the word out about that as well.
Thank you.
And just to clarify, it's not an advertisement, it's just a posting. I don't want there to be.
Post, I'm sorry. Yes, it's not a legal notice. We'll just post that the meeting is open. Exactly. Thank you, Kate. And so with that, do I have a motion to close the meeting?
I'll move to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Chris and David, thank you. All in favor? Jeff?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Chris,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Armand,
Yes.
and I am a yes. So thank you. Again, my apologies.
No,
And
my
then-
apologies. Thank you, man.
Sorry about this, folks.
No. It's on me. It's on me. So thank you,
It's
everyone.
Bye, Bill.
Good things
Bye,
on the
Bill.
planning board.